Since Russia launched its so-called special military operation, it's used various kinds of missiles against Ukraine, Kh-101 being one of them. Footage of a Russian Kh-101 air-launched cruise missile deploying decoy flares during its flight has emerged. The video capturing the Kh-101 releasing the countermeasures surfaced on social media in the last week of December. Viewers may note that in January last year, this feature became publicly known following the retrieval of a substantially intact instance of one of these missiles, which was subsequently confirmed to have a decoy dispenser system installed. In this video, Defense Updates reports on Russian Kh-101 deploying countermeasures to evade interception. Let's get into the details. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted VPN brands worldwide that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte, an industry-leading Big Four auditing firm. NordVPN provides an encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy by preventing external entry to your internet traffic, as well as enabling you to access content that's blocked based on geolocation. Best of all, with one NordVPN account, you can secure up to 6 devices at the same time. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive savings by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Kh-101 is an ALCM, or air-launched cruise missile. It's 7.45 meters in length and 0.51 meters in diameter. Though its development was initiated in the 1980s under the Soviet Union, the Kh-101 remains one of Russia's most modern air-launched cruise missiles. The conventionally armed Kh-101, as well as its nuclear-armed Kh-102, are derived from the Kh-55 series missile. The first known combat employment of Kh-101s, which can be launched from Tu-160 Blackjack or Tu-95 MS Bear bombers, was in Syria in 2015. It's been extensively used in the current conflict in Ukraine. A stealthy missile, the Kh-101 or 102, is designed to defeat air defense systems by flying at low, terrain-hugging altitudes to avoid radar systems. The Kh-101 carries a conventional warhead, while the Kh-102 is believed to carry a 250 kiloton nuclear payload. The missile uses a TRDD-50A turbofan engine, giving it a cruising speed of Mach 0.58 and a maximum speed of Mach 0.78. It has an estimated flight endurance of around 10 hours and has cruise altitude of around 6,000 meters. The range of the missile is reported to be about 2,800 kilometers or 1,740 miles, although unconfirmed reports by the Russian Ministry of Defense claims its maximum range is 4,400 kilometers or about 2,745 miles. The Kh-101 can be guided to its target via satellite or inertial navigation, or both working together to improve accuracy. It also has a radar-based terrain contour matching or TERCOM capability to allow it to fly to the target at a relatively low altitude. On top of all this is the Otblesk U. This is a digital scene-matching area correlation DSMAC system, which uses an internal database of relevant terrain imagery to check against to help guide the weapon to its targets. These systems make the missile capable of flying at treetop levels around 30 meters to 60 meters, making it harder for enemy forces to detect and intercept. Some sources report that this missile has a CEP of just 5 meters. Such accuracy is sufficient to hit infrastructure targets. The missile is loaded with specialized expendable countermeasures. It seems Kh-101, as observed in the low-quality video, is deploying a combination of flares and chaff. The mechanism for initiating the launch of countermeasures remains uncertain. It's probable that the missile was programmed to release these countermeasures upon reaching specific waypoints, potentially in the terminal phase nearing the target, or locations where threat systems are believed to be positioned along their route. The sound of the countermeasures blasting off when they're fired is audible in the footage. Notably, they also don't have the streams of smoke that frequently accompany decoy flares. These could be smaller flares with shorter burn durations overall, or spectral flares, in which the primary heat plume is invisible to the unaided eye. The flares have a high thermal signature, and hence can confuse IR missiles that are fired to intercept the missile. Additions such as bundles of thin metal strips, metallized paper, or fiberglass threads can also be used to create radar-confusing chaff. This can be effective against radar homing missiles launched to take out the missile. Nevertheless, from the ground, the chaff is usually not easily visible. As evident, Kh-101 is a pretty sophisticated missile. It's actually one of the most lethal cruise missiles in the world. The long range enables it to be launched well beyond the strike envelope of most enemy air defense, keeping the launching aircraft safe. Being a high-precision weapon, it can be used for high-value targets. It's one of the few missiles, and possibly the only cruise missile, to have this kind of countermeasures. Generally, decoys in missiles are associated with only intercontinental ballistic missiles. It's clear that Russian engineers have gone out of their way to ensure that the expensive Kh-101 missile is equipped to fend off interception attempts. While chaffs and flares are not foolproof, coupled with stealthy design and low flight altitude of Kh-101, they can certainly come in handy against many different types of missiles. This shows one thing: Russia is learning, and the experience it's gathering from the conflict could be very useful in future confrontation. It remains to be seen if Western missile manufacturers like Raytheon, which is the manufacturer of Tomahawk cruise missile, take cues from this.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.